Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we sit down with the director of the haunting horror film, The Apparition.
It's actually based on these real experiments that, dating back to the 70s of people trying to create a ghost.
Jose visits the visual effects studio behind the blockbuster Battleship.
A large percentage of your film is being created in post-production.
He's super bad, he's out of sight, and now Black Dynamite is animated.
Can you dig it?
Going into animation, you can just do so much. Your imagination is boundless.
We check out the art design of the sci-fi strategy game XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Guns and aliens and soldiers, pretty much everything everybody wants to work on.
Robot and Frank has an aging Frank Langella and his robotic butler wanted for robbery in the sonar. Plus, our review on the run of the Raid Redemption, and much more. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Brianna McIver, and prepare yourself for a shock. I'm the Rocketeer. I'm also here to deliver the latest in everything cool every single day. Let's start with the rundown. A new version of the Rocketeer may be flying to a theater near you. Vulture reports that Disney is working on a remake of the heroic 1991 adventure film. The original was directed by Captain America's Joe Johnston and starred The Killing's Billy Campbell. It tells the story of a young American racing pilot in the 1930s who discovers a jetpack built by Howard Hughes and then uses it to take down Nazi spies. It was not a financial hit when first released, but has since gained a large cult following. Disney is reportedly meeting with different screenwriters to pen the new movie, but the project has yet to be given a green light. Expect more details soon. Rocketeer fans can find plenty of cool stuff about the original film on epdaily.tv, including a commentary with Vic and Billy Campbell. And if you're looking for even more scares, The Apparition will haunt theaters this weekend. It's a new horror movie that sees a group of university students terrorized by a ghost, and it's their own belief in the supernatural that brought the entity to life in the first place. Director Todd Lincoln consulted with paranormal investigators to make the film seem as authentic as possible.
Tracked down this paranormal investigator and researcher named Joshua P. Warren, who actually was a guy out there doing one of these types of experiments. So I consulted with him and had the actors talk to him as well about being as authentic as possible with the terms and technology. I wanted horror movie fans and paranormal fans and everybody to watch this film and know that we cared and we set out to do it correctly.
What the hell is that?
Get the thing off!
We'll uncover more details on The Apparition with Todd Lincoln later in the show. We've already explored the surface of Mars. Now we're going to check out what's underground. Following the successful landing of the Curiosity rover, NASA and its Jet Propulsion Laboratory have announced a new mission to the Red Planet. This one, known as InSight, will be a stationary lander that can drill beneath the Martian surface and teach us new things about the planet. It's scheduled to launch in March 2016, which means it will touch down in September of that year. You can learn more on epdaily.tv and also check out the latest images and videos sent back by the Curiosity rover. And there's even more cool stuff over at epdaily.tv, including links to subscribe to the rundown in podcast form. And you just briefly heard from the director of the new horror film, The Apparition. He's here now to tell us even more about the terrifying new thriller.
If we can pull this off, we'll prove that anything supernatural can exist when people believe it.
The Apparition is your directorial debut. What were some of your goals with this production?
To move the horror genre forward a little bit, really put it in this contemporary American setting with the big box stores and suburban developments and corporate franchises, and just this idea of creating a ghost or creating an apparition from the power of belief and fear was just really fascinating, and I felt a fresh way into a horror film or ghost film.
It wants to be in our world.
The story focuses on Kelly and Ben, who are a normal, everyday couple. What do they go through?
So this is a very much American transition, and we see this young couple moving into this house. So we're seeing them probably a year into their relationship, still learning more about each other, and then we learn that there's something else, growing in their house and lurking in the darkness.
Get out of my house!
When the actors and I would really constantly ask ourselves, what would you really do in this situation, and not what a horror character would do or a horror movie would do.
One of the things I thought was so cool about this movie is that the house actually kind of turns on this couple. What did that entail when you were shooting?
Part of the way you make the house scary is you make the house look very normal, and you make all the set dressing and everything in that house as normal as possible. I mean, really with this film, the house is not what is haunted. It's, you know, that idea that people are haunted, and from this experiment and creating this dark, unknown, malevolent, inhuman apparition and entity.
With the apparition, obviously this is a ghost story and in some cases a haunted house story. How did you want to keep it fresh and new for an audience that has maybe seen a lot of those movies before?
It's a fresh way into this type of film, the idea of doing an experiment to create a ghost and then seeing how it affects and terrifies these people and how it feeds off this fear and belief, and trying to be as honest and authentic with the terms and technology and gear we use in that type of experiment, so that movie fans, horror fans, paranormal fans understand that we are out to make something serious and cinematic and respecting the subject matter.
The Apparition will haunt theaters this weekend, and Battleship will set sail on Blu-ray soon. ILM did a lot of the visual effects work on the film, and Jose recently made his way to their offices to learn firsthand about what went into crafting the destruction.
Tell me what it means to be the visual effects supervisor on a movie like Battleship.
When you're on a movie with the scope of visual effects like Battleship, it means that a large percentage of your film is being created in post-production. So my mission and Pablo's as a VFX supervisor is to include the director, Peter Berg, in kind of every step in that process. It also means, and on this project in particular, collaborating with those filmmakers and helping them design creatures, design ships. And Pete was very, very receptive to all of that.
Tell me about the first thing you think about when you find out that you're going to be working on a movie based on a board game that is Battleship.
I think we all felt a little bit of skepticism. You know, the thing that perhaps makes it easier is a few years ago we were told that we were going to make a movie of a theme park ride. And that turned out pretty good.
So how crazy did it get? I understand you guys had to create a whole new water system.
In terms of the history of it, I mean, we've been doing water for the last 10 years, something like that, and things, you know, change really, really, really fast. But we started with a real helicopter blade that gave us, you know, the right lighting and the right composition, and then we replaced everything.
When we went through the script and we kind of talked through all of these water sequences with Pete and how much of the movie actually took place in open ocean, we knew we'd kind of have to raise our game. And that's when we started the Battleship Water Project. And over the course of a year, our R&D team re-engineered how we tackle fluid sims here at ILM.
It was exciting to hear that Pete wanted to approach it from a different way. With visual effects, typically we're trying to show off how amazing everything looks. Pete wanted to make it gritty.
I think one of the cool things about Peter's aesthetic is he actually did guide us out of our comfort zone in many ways.
It allowed us to go and look at a lot of documentary footage of World War II, like the Battle of Midway. And that was kind of what he wanted. He wanted us to sort of see if we could incorporate those sort of qualities into a CG environment. And therefore, when the audience sees the action, hopefully, you know, it feels more real to them.
For me, it's exciting to see something in a computer that you see and say, is that real? Did we shoot something, or is that the computer?
Hit it!
After the break, Black Dynamite makes the jump from the big screen to the small with an animated series. And we go on the ride of our lives with Premium Rush in the Sonar. Later in the show, our look at the art design of the alien invasion game XCOM Enemy Unknown, and our review on the run of the Raid Redemption. Welcome back to EP Daily. Black Dynamite was a 70s blaxploitation film released in 2009, and now it's an animated series airing on Adult Swim. We recently spoke to the cast and creators about the freedom they have in animation and how they turned an era into a character.
All right, look, from now on, nobody's allowed to run off the Soul Train and take a bullet for a motherfucker without Black Dynamite's prior express written consent.
Live action, it was one thing, and then going into animation, you can just do so much. Your imagination's boundless. The first episode is called Jackson 5 Across Your Eyes.
So like Black Dynamite meets the origin of the Jackson 5.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Michael.
Oh my God, that's Michael Jackson of the Jackson 5.
The biggest character that's going to drive the show is the 70s itself. It's that blaxploitation period of the 70s. So that in itself is a huge character.
Chocolate Giddy-Up is the smartest pimp in the world because we all see Black Dynamite kicking a lot of ass. And for some reason, everyone wants to challenge him in fighting. Chocolate Giddy-Up wouldn't do that. And he's afraid of Black Dynamite. He's not trying to step into the ring with the tiger.
We pretty much turned the 70s into its own universe. The show is not really a parody of blaxploitation. It's just a world that was kind of born out of blaxploitation. It has a 70s feel to it because of the color palettes that we use and the music and the dialects, you know what I'm saying? We use a lot of jive turkeys and all the colloquialisms of the 70s. So in that way, I think it feels very 70s.
It's kind of hard paying attention to you and playing Pong at the same time. It is really, really good.
A Dynamite new episode will air this Sunday, and this weekend you'll be able to check out a bunch of cool new movies, so let's ride like hell with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the Sonar. In Premium Rush, he plays an aggressive New York bicycle courier. He's used to putting his life on the line in manic Manhattan traffic every day, but when a routine delivery isn't so routine, he quickly learns that this isn't his last delivery of the day. He's gonna have to put a rush on his own life and try to outrun those who are, for unknown reasons, attempting to kill him. Fear is also a factor in the Apparition. It follows a young couple who become increasingly haunted by a presence accidentally unleashed during a college psychology experiment. It feeds on their fear, and their last glimmer of hope lies in the hands of Harry Potter's Tom Felton. He plays a supernatural expert. For comedy, witness Hit and Run. Dax Shepard stars as a getaway driver turned informant who now lies in the witness protection program. But his true identity is revealed and he risks losing his girlfriend and his life when his former gang come back into the picture. Tom Arnold, Bradley Cooper, and Kristen Bell also star in the film.
Can we just go? Okay.
For heartwarming laughs, turn to Robot and Frank. Actor Frank Langella takes on the lead role as an aging father and former jewel thief. His children fear he can no longer live on his own, and instead of placing him in a nursing home, they purchase a robot companion whose goal is to improve his well-being.
You have got to be kidding me.
At 70 years old, he's not so fond of technology and reluctant at first, but Frank quickly learns that the robot is a friend and a useful resource likely capable of getting him back into the exciting life of crime.
We're gonna clean up.
And if it's an artistic cinematic experience you're after this weekend, check out filmmaker Rob Fryke's latest project, Samsara. Exploring the various wonders of today's world, it was shot over 5 years entirely on 70mm film in 25 countries across 5 continents, transporting theatergoers to sacred grounds, disaster zones, industrial complexes, and natural wonders. Still to come, we chat about the sci-fi style of XCOM Enemy Unknown and our review of The Raid Redemption. EP Daily is returning to Fan Expo. Come meet your favorite hosts from the #1 show on television that delivers the latest in everything cool every single day. Fan Expo runs from August 23rd through 26th in Toronto. Visit epdaily.tv for more details. You're back here at EP Daily. 2K just recently revealed some of the multiplayer modes that will be included in XCOM Enemy Unknown, but what we want to talk about today is the game's art style and what the team has done to improve certain elements.
Greg, what was it like for you working on the look and feel of XCOM Enemy Unknown?
It was a lot of fun. Guns and aliens and soldiers, pretty much everything everybody wants to work on. The fidelity of the game, where the camera is, the scale of it, it allows for us to make a really rich environment. We wanted to really keep the creepy sense, but we also wanted to make it very colorful.
When you have a game that's been around for so long, that people know and love, and it's been around when technology really wasn't where it is now in terms of graphics and things we could do in games, what is it like adapting that, yet still having it feel XCOM-ish?
We always start there. We look at what they did, how appropriate the decision they made was, and if it's still relevant now. In a lot of cases it was. We would look at it and evaluate and said a lot of things were right, and some of them, like technology, gives us a leg up when changing it.
What is it like designing the environments that these characters find themselves in?
We wanted to really play to iconic imagery that people knew. It's like there's a gas station. Everybody knows what that gas station was down the street. We wanted to play in environments that made sense, that people could think about, and we're like, man, I just got gas in my car yesterday. Things like that resonated with the players.
What was your approach then, your team's approach to the art design of this game?
Well, a lot of it, due to where our camera is, we really wanted to make things readable. And if you played the original, they weren't soldiers, they were superheroes. And so at one point, one of the artists on the team had said something about, well, they don't look like soldiers. They don't look like something in Modern Warfare. And I was like, they're not. He said, they look like action figures. I'm like, you're 100% correct. And then a couple of guys we brought on were really into miniatures and that sort of thing. And so it's definitely got this diorama feel.
Now, what do you hope people love about this game when they pick it up and they play it for the first time?
Just that it's a great game, and it's got some really pretty moments. It's different than what people think a turn-based game is going to be, and it's visually different than what people, I think, expect from a turn-based game. At the end, I really hope they just think it's a great game.
October 9th is when the unknown enemy will be revealed, and speaking of enemies, the Indonesian martial arts film The Raid Redemption was recently released on home video. Miri and Ben are here now with their review of the Blu-ray.
One film that most people have not seen this year, and I think you absolutely should, especially now that it is out on Blu-ray, is The Raid Redemption. The Raid Redemption is an Indonesian film. It is the story of a drug lord that is at the top of a high-rise and about 30 cops that go into the high-rise to get him. Very simple, very, very, very awesome. Miri, what did you think of The Raid?
I did not think it was awesome.
What?
I did not think it was awesome. I think the thing I liked about it was that it was an unapologetic action movie that doesn't pretend to be something it's not.
Everyone fall back!
But for me, I would have liked there to be more than just that. And I felt like it was just, you know, a lot of action. Too much of a good thing, for me, kind of cancels out the good thing.
I don't know what the they were thinking. I see where you're getting. I see it. And you know what? I'm not mad. I am not mad at you. There is a fight in here that probably lasts for 20 minutes, and it is the most incredible. There are a couple 20-minuters.
There are a couple of 20-minuters.
A couple 20-minuters. But there is one in particular that is maybe the best fight scene I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, there's no question that the action is amazing. I would have liked to care about the protagonist, this one SWAT member who's like fighting for his life. And I don't really, I don't know him.
Yes, there could be a little more character development, but you care about him because he's so good at fighting. I actually was left a little wanting from the special features, because for me, I was so completely enamored with the fighting. I wanted to see a little bit more of like a step-by-step breakdown. Like the director, exactly. Gareth Evans, is an incredibly, incredibly talented guy. And I really wanted to see a little bit more of him, like, really start to finish plotting out a scene.
I agree. I feel like those video blogs could have been taken out and they could have done something a little more in depth with the choreography, because that's the star of the show.
It is. It absolutely is.
So what are you going to give The Raid Redemption?
The Raid Redemption for me is an 8. I think it just blew my mind. It's so originally awesome.
6 for me. Not that awesome.
It's gotta be worth more than a 6, because both a sequel and an English language remake are in development, and stick around because there's Doom on the way after this. Coming up next, we've got a big freaking game preview of Doom 3 BFG Edition. On the next EP Daily, we overdose on vitamin C with the new series, The High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange. And our continued coverage of the scary supernatural thrill ride, The Apparition.
This film's gonna be like a roller coaster ride.
And coming soon to EP, Tom Hardy and Shia LaBeouf are bootlegging bandits in Lawless. Welcome back to EP. The Doom franchise basically defined the first-person shooter genre, and now you can experience it like never before in 3D with the all-new Doom 3 BFG Edition.
What is it about the Doom franchise that's given it the ability to last the test of time as long as it did and keep people wanting to come back for more, or come back for the entire collection on a disc?
Well, coming up next year, we're actually at the 20th anniversary of Doom, and I think a lot of people recognize it as the grandfather of the first-person shooter, one of the original first-person shooters, and they grew up with it, and they've seen it evolve over the years. Then Doom 3 itself was a benchmark game. People would buy new equipment, buy new rigs to play the game. To be able to bring it to the consoles now, where you know it's going to run 60 hertz, hertz. You know it's going to run optimally and play through it again, but this time on a TV on their couch. So that's a really cool experience.
What are you guys delivering with the brand new BFG Edition for Doom 3?
BFG Edition is pretty much every Doom game in one complete package. You've got Doom 3 remastered, Resurrection of Evil remastered, brand new single-player campaign called The Lost Mission, which is 7 new levels, and then you've got Doom 1 and 2 as a bonus on top of that, so you can play through the entire series.
So how cool is that to get to put something like that together and make everything a little bit better?
Yeah, it's a really good opportunity, and it's crazy when you think about the fact that Doom 3 has not been released on PlayStation 3, and it's missed this console cycle, and now we get to put it out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 and PC at the same time, and everybody that didn't get to experience the game can go back and play through it. We also get to go back and update the code a little bit as well. The guys at id are really excited to go in and make this the really ultimate version of Doom 3.
It's all the Doom in one best games collection. It's the BFG Edition for Doom 3.
If you missed anything in the show or you just want to watch it again, you can visit us at g4tv.ca or go to our website at epdaily.tv. You can also find us on Facebook under Electric Playground and follow us on Twitter at epdailytv. Although this episode of EP Daily is coming to a close for the day, the J.J. Abrams series Fringe is coming to an end once and for all. We have a preview of the final season over at epdaily.tv, so I encourage you to check it out, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye.
I think the last season, more than any other season, is going to be one long serialized story, and it's going to be probably the most action-packed. There'll be less standalone episodes, and it'll be more just one long story. We're basically picking up where we left off in episode 419. So it's set in 25 years in the future, and it's a fight to get our planet back.
Good. Then let's get started. We don't have much time.